As always, it's your two hosts, Bob Bain and Joe Massey. Over the next probably 10 weeks, we're going to dedicate a ton of episodes and a ton of time to our favorite show, From. What's up,
sir.
buddy?
Yes, sir. I'm good, man. How about you?
I'm doing well. So I watched episode 1 of season 4 today. I can't believe what's going on. So what were your thoughts? What do you think is happening and what's going on?
I woke up at 5 to watch it, and I thought that was early. I was actually saying to myself, as I was making coffee, I'm like, I wonder if it's going to be on this early. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then I hit for YouTube, and there was like 15 channels that had already published a deep dive or like a podcast episode. So I guess it comes on at midnight, and if you stay up, and if you live stream it, whatever, I don't know. But I started watching, and it was interesting when he said, like, when the Manning, first of all, spoilers. We're going to talk about the entire episode.
Yes,
we got to get that out of there.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. So if you haven't seen season 4, episode 1, titled The Arrival, shut it off now. But after he killed Jim, the Manning Yellow was like, we have to stop meeting like this. He said that to Julie, which I thought was wild.
So what does that tell you? So hold on a second.
She disappeared very quickly.
She did. So what's that tell you? So it tells you two things, right? It tells you that obviously they've been seeing a lot of each other. This has been happening a lot. Also, did you hear what he said? He said, when did you come from this time? Not where did you come from? So when in time?
Yeah. And because I thought it was interesting because when Tabitha gets back into town, I'm gonna say real time Julie because I don't know what else to call her. Real time Julie.
We're gonna say Julie. All right, there's Julie, and then there's Storywalker Julie.
Okay, so regular Julie doesn't know that Jim's dead.
Correct. Yes.
When Tabitha gets back, none of them do. Only Storywalker Julie does. I was excited to think that we were getting a new priest. And then,
I mean, I thought we were going to have a whole new family come into town. What the hell happened? Well, we'll get to that at the end. We want to go in order. About what, because it was such a crazy
I'm looking at my notes. But the priest crashed into the side of the sheriff's station, which means that you probably can't stay in there at nighttime anymore.
That was the first thing I thought. I was like, oh my God, Boyd's got to go stay somewhere else now.
He did wind up sleeping in a colony house that night.
Yeah. But I think that was
probably going to be a permanent thing, though, I would imagine.
I don't know, but I think that was also just because he was defeated, right? He was defeated at that point.
Well, by the time he made his way there to break the news to everyone, it was already dark, like Donna was saying. So it may have just been a coincidence that night. The close-up of the stitching of the eye, I thought was awesome.
That was insane. So by the way, that answers a question for us, right? So over the past couple of times we've talked about this, you've always asked the question like, all right, so who's reincarnation of who? And are they all reincarnations of somebody? So now I know for sure that Elgin is a reincarnation of at least 2 people. We've already seen Jade see 2 people, right? Have like visions or whatever, hallucinations of 2 people from the past with their eye gouged out. One was the Civil War warrior, right? Or soldier, the Civil War soldier.
Yep.
All right. The other one was like, I guess he was like a farmer or something. He had the skull with the blood and he had his eye gouged out. So now that's 3 people who've had their eye gouged out. So Elgin's the reincarnation of those 2. Does that mean they're all? Yeah. Does that mean they're all a reincarnation? I don't know yet. I'm really trying to focus on that. But we haven't seen a ton of hallucinations. That's why I know about it.
So hold on. What leads you to believe that if I got my eye gouged out and then you're a reincarnation of me, you have to have your eye gouged out?
I don't know, but it's interesting. Remember, seems like
because that would mean every reincarnation of Jim would have to keep getting murdered.
So hang on. What does the man in yellow say? He's like, it's a shame you're going to miss this part because it's my favorite part.
Yeah.
Right. Obviously they're in a loop. So the same thing keeps happening. So maybe that's why his eye gets it. It's not that it has to happen. It just happens over and over in the loop. The person who plays that part in that time. And we already know from when we talked about when Tabitha goes up the stairwell and you see the years, right, on the wood. So you see it goes in cycles. Everything's cyclical. There's probably been, I don't know, there's like 9 different cycles. And she even says she's like, what do you think? Is it easier to believe that the place is trying to scare us or trying to make us think this, or that we've been coming here for centuries?
Yeah, I remember that. So the man in the yellow suit has a yellow briefcase, a suitcase now. And
that's not the first time we've seen that suitcase.
I felt like Victor buried that.
I don't know if it was Victor. There was like a white dress or something. I forget who else picked it up.
Yeah.
There was some kind of white dress in it before.
So
was it Sarah?
I don't know, but Sarah has proven that she's not the man in yellow, I think, right?
No. So hold on a second. I have a crazy, crazy theory. Has the man in yellow already been there before? All right.
Had to have been, yeah.
No. I mean, been with the people. See how we know he's a shapeshifter? Has he already done this previously?
You're hitting us with the
Tilly.
True Blood shit.
No. Remember Tilly, the woman that Fatima stabbed, the old woman?
Yeah.
Well, dude, remember she knew she was pregnant before everybody else, right? When she sat down to talk to Fatima, the crow flew into the house. And the crows are what they always see when they come across the tree.
It's possible, but I would go out on a limb and say when the shapeshifter is among the regular people, he's not that nice. Or she's not that nice.
Well, she was always causing all kinds of havoc, wasn't she? Remember she was acting all goofy, dancing in the rain and trying to get them to do things that were
the old lady?
Yeah, you don't remember that stuff?
No, you rewatched the whole thing. I didn't. I don't remember her dancing in the rain.
She was
and Kelly.
Yeah, she was the one who was like convincing Fatima, like, oh, it's okay to eat the bad food, and you know what I mean, to eat the rotten fruit.
Yeah. Okay, that might be something. Kenny finds out immediately what the birthing process and the Smiley getting reborn. He sees him immediately when he goes down into the tunnel. But then Boyd comes back to Colony House. He tells Donna and Christy and Ellis and Fatima as well.
Hold on. How about before that? How about when he goes back to the sheriff's station and he starts counting out all the bullets, and Kenny's like, what are you doing? And I was like, what is this guy going to play Russian roulette with himself? Like, what's going on here? And he was like, I need a count of how many people we have. I need to make sure we have enough bullets. He said, if it comes down to it, we choose how we get out of here, not how we don't want to get ripped to shreds by these monsters.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
That's great that I didn't forget about it, but I didn't write that piece down, but I wrote down what Christy says to him before she leaves the room after hearing that news. She says that if you lose faith, then people start hanging themselves in bathrooms and everybody loses faith. And she was saying, like, you're the leader, whether you like it or not, you have to hold it together for everyone else. But when Ellis is hugging him and he asks for them to have some privacy, and then when he's counting the bullets, like, I don't think this was the first time we've ever seen Boyd cry or be extremely stressed, but I feel like now you got 2 in 1 episode. I feel like he's really starting to lose it.
Well, it's funny that you said that about if you start to lose it, then we start finding people hanging themselves in bathrooms. Right before that or after that, they showed Fatima in the shower having some sort of breakdown.
Yeah.
And then we didn't see her again for the rest of the episode.
I could have sworn the Komodo dragon or somebody was going to come and get her.
That's what I thought. I thought something, but I mean, we haven't seen her yet. Maybe something did happen. You know?
And then I want to see if I can bring up a picture side by side. The girl cop looks identical to Smiley. Cuz
they don't look anything alike.
You're out of your mind, dog.
Right, maybe they do.
Acosta, the cop, looks, or is she just, I don't know, EMT, whatever she is. She looks very similar to Smiley.
All right, fair enough. Maybe they are related.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they found someone. I don't know if there's anything to that or not, but it dawned on me that they look very similar to one another. So Fatima had a premonition about the bargain.
Well, it's not that she had a premonition. That she had like a a vision of it, I guess, right? I don't know if it was from, I guess if it wasn't like the kimono woman showed it to her or whatever, or maybe as she was giving,
in the
she was
season
giving
3
birth.
finale.
So she says it in the season 3 finale.
But we didn't
tells them,
see it though.
What, her give birth or the actual deal and everything?
We didn't see a visual of what she was being told.
Correct. No. So what happens is they find her and then she just starts saying they sacrificed their children. Like she starts telling them that was it.
Now, but you told me that last time we spoke. So where else did you get that from?
About sacrificing the children
and the bargain.
At the end of at the season finale of episode 3.
It's from her. Okay.
Yeah,
I was wondering if there was another spot where that was mentioned and I missed it.
No. And that's the one thing I actually love about this episode is it literally picks up right after.
Like,
it's perfect.
What's the name was on the floor and Jim had just got his throat slit. Like, it really identical. So we get this, we get new people arrive. We get a priest and his daughter arrive, and you see him speeding through the town. And we've seen that a million times before because people get so freaked out
that they just
it doesn't change, that they can't leave, that they just, they start speeding up. But when he crashes and Sophia says that her dad had a seizure, or she thinks her dad had a seizure at the wheel, Christy's girlfriend, the other nurse, says this has happened a bunch of times before. I don't remember that.
Oh, dude, friggin', you don't remember Sarah had a seizure? Elgin had a seizure?
I don't remember. I know who she said. I don't remember any of that.
Yeah, Christy's girlfriend had a seizure. Is that Pedialyte?
Mm-hmm. He's in a coma, multiple seizures. They get the jaws of life. They get both of them out of the car, and now they're at the clinic, and Sophia's praying. She drops John 1:5 on Kenny.
Yeah.
And
then she prays for them.
She prays for them.
The
and Kenny starts to tell her about Fromville because she asks to call her mother.
Yes.
On the phone. And at that point in time, I'm thinking to myself, like, wow, like we haven't had to tell anybody what this place is in a very long time.
Yeah.
And
since the beginning of season 2, probably.
I was going to say the last newcomers were the bus, right?
No.
Randall came after the bus? Oh, yeah. Right.
Acosta came in season 3.
When Tabitha comes back.
Correct. Yeah. And Victor's father.
How about when they're in the room and they hear all this noise and they're like, I'm just moving this bed in, and he's like, I haven't had a roommate in a while, and he pushes them. She's like, I'm sure you'll figure it out. Meanwhile, when Smiley was just reborn. Yeah. But you're running around with a roommate. That was funny. That was funny. Poor Elgin sitting there getting his eyes stitched up, and they're like, "Oh, we're just going to be playing, hopping back and forth on the beds." So, 2 questions for you. A, I think it's ridiculous that not everyone can relate to what Boyd and Sarah did at this juncture, right? We are, God knows how many weeks or months or years into them being there.
Acosta's such a newcomer. It's really only Acosta who's upset.
Donna seemed to be right on board.
Yeah, I mean, I think...
You just think it was her that would have a problem with that?
I think it's more just Acosta. I really do. And she's a short timer, right? She's been there for the shortest amount of time.
And my second question is, did Boyd officially have a nervous breakdown?
Not yet.
You wouldn't call either one of those incidents a nervous breakdown?
No, because look, I'm not an expert in any of this stuff, but I think nervous breakdowns are like when you go like catatonic and, like you literally can't function. I think he's on the verge.
Yeah.
But he didn't have a nervous breakdown yet. He had a freak out. That's what he had. He had a freak out, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And it's understandable. I mean, he's been through it, dog. They've all been through it, but like, Boyd always seems to be at the forefront of all the drama and ridiculousness, and he's got to stuff a lot more down than everybody else does.
Well, you know what? Here's another question I have. Remember, all right, so we know that Sophia, we haven't talked about that reveal yet. Let's talk about that so I can ask this question.
Yeah, let's do it. So we are I forget which comes first. If you see the man in yellow transform first, or if you see Sophia speak to the priest in a manner that lets you know she's not his daughter.
That's exactly what happened. So Sophia sits there and starts saying, "Hey, you're such a big part of the story, blah, blah, blah. It's a shame you're not going to see it, but I needed you." And then they flash back to the man in yellow. So they show him
right after.
Correct. They show him getting the suitcase in the beginning of the episode, but we don't know what's in the suitcase yet. So now she gets done praying with Kenny, and Sophia walks in and sees Kenny sleeping. Now, at that point, I'm thinking, I'm like, my God, this curious girl's now is going to take the talisman down and something's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
So she walks over and puts her hand on the priest's chest, and he wakes up out of his coma, but he can't speak. You could tell, like, you know,
yeah, she was like, blink twice.
Yeah.
I thought she really was his daughter. And she was such a holy roller that she was going to kill him to like let him meet his maker.
Okay,
I thought that's where it was going to go.
I can see that. Well, there we go. So then we find out that the biggest reveal of the whole episode is that we find out she's not even his daughter. She's the man in yellow who shapeshifted into her. Now, here's some questions I have. Like, why was it those clothes, right? Why were those clothes buried in that suitcase? You know what I mean? And does he need another person's clothes to be able to shapeshift? Like, can he just do it without having those clothes there? Like, there's so many questions about this.
I don't think the clothes have a lot of significance. I think that when she got there and they saw the crash, she had to become his daughter or niece or something like that. And I think he knew, the man in yellow knew the priest was on his way. He may be... This is what I said to you. I know we had some technical difficulties and we had to wrap up early last time, but I don't know if you saw the end piece that I recorded on my own, but I think there's multiple iterations of Fromville and somebody is orchestrating everything. Somebody's turning the radio on at the absolute best or worst time, depending on how you look at it. Somebody is doing everything. Somebody is managing everything in some way. I don't know how yet, but I think that he either brought the priest there or knew the priest was coming. And but you're right, though. He didn't open up that suitcase and find 15 different outfits.
No,
there was just one.
Here's a question. Has the priest been there before as somebody else? Is this always...
Wasn't he the other priest? Why couldn't he just be the other priest?
No, what I'm saying is, remember how he says to Jim, the man in yellow says to Jim, you know, this is my favorite part. This is about to be my favorite part. It's the second time he says it, right? So how do we know this hasn't been something the man in yellow has been doing over every cycle?
That's what I'm saying.
Every single time. Yeah. So
somebody's managing this.
I think I don't know if it is somebody managing it. I think it's just part of the folklore. The man in yellow.
Him. Yeah.
I still think there's somebody above him. I don't think he's the main villain.
So Sophia says it again. I like Sophia way better than the man in yellow. Sophia says it again at the very end. She says something along the lines of, I'm up to the priest. I'm upset you're going to miss the best part. She's like, this is when they tear themselves apart. So Boyd, like you were saying with the number 47, Boyd alludes to that in the beginning. Like, we thought we had one small win and then they took that away from us. So now, you know, like, he's preparing for people to commit suicide because it may be a better alternative than whatever's about to come. And Sophia confirms that, right? In her own way. Like, this is the part where they tear themselves apart. Like, who knows what? I can't imagine there's an entire another season after this.
Well, it's
just
already
seeing
been renewed.
how that started. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's already been renewed, which is the most amazing thing. Now, the other thing that happens in the episode, which was really interesting, and I was like, oh my God, what the fuck is happening now? So the Matthews family, you know, is waiting for Jim. They don't know. Well, now at this point, they actually assume that he just stayed somewhere else, right? That's what they're pretty much thinking, is that he made it back to town and he stayed somewhere else.
Yeah, because what's her name says that, like, mom didn't come home for several days and she's here. You know
exactly.
What I mean? Yeah.
So then they're sitting there and they hear a commotion, a noise in the kitchen. So they walk out and it's a pot of like stew that was like flung off the stove or fell off the stove, right? Well, then all of a sudden the cabinet doors start opening and closing. I think it's Jim.
So, first of all, after the day she had, when the fuck did she have time to make chili?
Right. Didn't they just walk in the door? Didn't they just walk in?
But I'm close to what you're saying. I actually thought the way that time bends, and now we know that bodies bend too. So like they're playing with much more than just time now. The way that time bends, I thought Jim was going to walk through the back door.
I didn't think that. I mean, he's dead, right? I mean, the guy, we've confirmed that with Julie trying to change the story multiple times.
Yeah, but what if that was Storywalker version of Jim? Real time Jim could have absolutely walked through the front door or the back door.
I think there's only one Storywalker. And the other thing that was interesting is, do you remember that the man in yellow says to her, because again, we've confirmed that they've seen each other a lot with her switching times and trying to prevent, her father from being killed. Yeah. He goes, you can't change the story once it's written. And that's the same thing Ethan said. So
the first thing, I was taking notes live as I was watching the episode. The first thing I wrote down was Ethan is the man in yellow. Now,
interesting.
Towards the end, when the Sophia shit happened, I wasn't so confident in that guess, but that's the first thing that came to my mind. Like you said, it started immediately where the last one left off, like seconds later. Like Jim hadn't even hit the ground yet from dying.
Okay, but here's the thing though. So, and I was a big believer about Randall possibly being the man in yellow, right? But now I'm starting to wonder if he's not a reincarnation of anybody, because they're in the world together. So how can they be reincarnated, right?
You're thinking it's only the man in yellow and Julie that can bounce around through time and everyone else stays static.
No, we haven't seen the man in yellow bounce around through time. We've only seen Julie.
But is Julie bouncing around by herself and then she meets an older or younger version of everyone else? Or you don't think there's Storywalker versions of everybody?
No, I think she's the only Storywalker. I mean, we don't have any evidence to support that anybody else is a Storywalker. I mean, even when Tabitha and Miranda, go through the trees, I mean, anybody can go through the trees.
But here's the thing. If Jim died in real time and regular Julie doesn't know he's dead, that means that Storywalker Julie has to be from the future.
Correct.
She can't be from the past.
She looks older and has a different haircut. So absolutely she's from the future.
If she's from the future, then she knows that Jim's dead already.
Correct, but they haven't found that out yet. Did you see the trailer for episode 2? It's like
does it play right after the episode?
I don't know. I saw it on the tube. It looks like they find out.
Hold on, let's watch it together. But that's just a guy speculating. The channel's called Last Hope.
Yeah.
What's significant on that?
So he shows you the stuff. Like he showed the trailer, I believe. Because I know there's a trailer because I saw it as well in another guy's video. And they were showing Tabitha was like literally in a barn breaking down crying, and everybody was trying to comfort her. So it looks like they find out in the next episode that Jim's dead. So that's pretty present. And then we know that the Julie, that's the Storywalker, comes from the future. Her hair's different. She looks older.
So,
Jim's dead present day. Of course they don't know. Of course, real Julie doesn't know yet. Because they haven't, what they think is that he just got killed during the day. Because remember at the end of season finale, Tabitha tells Jim she needs to be alone and go take a walk. And then it's just Jim walking around in the woods. So in the real killing, right? Julie's not there. We saw Storywalker trying to change the story. But what really happened in present day is the man in yellow found Jim and killed him.
But she didn't really try to do anything. She walked over, he slit the father's throat, and she fell to the ground crying.
Correct.
What did she do?
She can't do anything. That's the whole point, was what they're trying to explain to her. She can't change the story. And obviously she's been trying because the man in yellow says we got to stop meeting like this or whatever.
That's crazy.
Prediction for week 2.
Predictions. They're
All
going
right.
to find out Jim's dead.
I don't think we are done with the whole Fatima storyline.
I think
there's more to
something
that.
happened to her in the shower.
All right. Acosta is going to play a big part, I believe, this episode or this season. They're starting to focus on her a little bit, right? Like the running joke has been, when is she going to take off the damn cop uniform? And now finally, it looks like even she got frustrated with it and she finally found something to wear. Because when I saw in the trailer that in next week's episode, remember it was green? It's like a green hoodie. She's wearing a green zip up. So I think she's going to have a bigger role.
In the back of the restaurant, right? Where Kenny's mom keeps the extra clothes and stuff.
Yeah, and I think Sophia is going to start causing some havoc. I mean, obviously that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Is she going to lead some people outside? Is she going to start planting ideas in people's head? I don't even, what do we call her? Do we call her Sophia? Sophia, the man in yellow? What do we like?
No, Sophia is a much better name than the man in yellow. How long into season 4? It goes from 1 to 10 episodes. So in the next 9 episodes, how long before everyone realizes what Sophia is?
I think Sophia lasts the whole season.
I think they have to find some way to
maybe in the 9th
overcome her. Even if they're not successful, they're gonna try, right? You have to try.
Which is why I don't think the man in yellow is the end all be all. I think it's very possible what you just said happens, where they have to defeat the man in yellow, and they do, and they think they're scot-free.
They're done, right?
Then they realize for season 5 that he was just the tip of the iceberg.
That's why I'm saying there's no way you find out that Sophia is the man in yellow and they either defeat her or kill her all in one episode. I'm saying episode 6 they find out.
Well, one thing I'm really surprised about is that they let you know that it's the man in yellow was Sophia already.
Yeah. Why?
Because I just thought, what if all of a sudden this religious broad showed up and she starts causing havoc and you're like, what the hell is going on here? And then like in episode 5 or 6, they show it.
That's interesting because like I was saying, I thought she was just going to kill her father on some religious shit, right? And that she wasn't. I had no idea she was the man in yellow until a few seconds later. Okay. And then so how many cats in season 4 actually take one of those bullets and commit suicide or commit suicide, period?
I don't know.
Anybody?
I don't know if it happens.
You're saying it might not happen at all.
It might not happen at all.
Intentionally. Somebody might die.
Yeah. Well, so
but an intentional suicide.
I think there's going to be two main character deaths this year.
I thought Kenny was going to get it in the fucking tunnel.
So did I.
Opening up with a bang, cuz.
I think it's going to be Donna. You know what?
You're not saying it. You're not saying it. Say it.
I think it's going to be Donna. I think Donna's going to be the character to go this season.
If Ellis died, that would be the end of Boyd's resilience.
That's why it can't happen. The show wouldn't be able to go on. You're right. I mean, maybe it could be a good storyline. Somebody else has to step up. He
already dropped the breadcrumbs for it. He said, if I can't get you home, all of this is meaningless.
Okay.
They're already planting that seed, cuz.
You think?
I think, especially if we find out that something happens to Fatima, there's no way he's sticking around long term. He might be the first one to off himself.
Okay, that's an interesting theory.
Yeah.
Now, here's another question I have, right? So I've noticed this after I rewatched it before this season. There's this like plant. And what I mean by that is like, there's this woman who lives at Colony House and she's kind of a bigger woman with dark hair and glasses. And she always shows up at like the craziest times. Like today it happened again. She shows up just to check in, just to open the door and go, hey, everybody's back.
Did she have blankets or something in her hand? Yeah, something. She was trying to do something.
She said she's like, hey, I just want to let you know everybody's back. And she walks in when they're trying to tend to Elgin, right? Like, why do they keep showing this girl?
When before?
So before she walked into the room when they were interrogating her, when they were interrogating Elgin, when Tilly and Fatima, whatever the hell her name is, when her and Fatima were talking, she comes up and starts mingling into their business.
You mean when they were in
before the bird came into the house.
Before the bird, yeah.
There was another time, like I forget who was talking, but she just like shows up in the kitchen and she's only there for like 6-7 seconds. Every time it's like she's there for 6 seconds.
I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. Like with a show like this, it could have tons of meaning, or it could be somebody's fucking daughter and she's juiced in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I can't believe you just said that. I was thinking about that. Maybe she is juiced in.
Because she might be juiced in.
Here's another thing. Did you see Boyd's reaction when he said 47? Like, is there a significance to that number, or was he just surprised at the amount of people?
I think I was surprised at the amount of people. I can't believe there's 47 people in Fromville. Now there's 49, but
because it seems like there's friggin' 50 of them living in Colony House.
There was. It seemed like there were at least 50 or 60 people there when they had Fatima's birthday party. Remember when like Julie was like, about to be a lesbo, but
there's still time.
Then they had that big. Somebody left the windows open or something. Remember the girl and her boyfriend? Yeah. They left the windows open and they had that big brawl.
Yeah, and a lot of people.
I feel like they lost a lot of people.
Yeah, they lost. Yeah, they did. They lost a lot of people that night. I remember.
So, in my mind, it didn't go from 60 to 47. I felt like it dropped down into the 20s.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I never thought it was that low.
But
I'm
could
wondering.
Be. That's what I'm saying. It could be. We don't know. There could absolutely. Was 47 in the bottles, or was 47 on the wall in the tower when Tabitha was walking around?
I don't remember. It was just interesting. And like you said, it could have been nothing. It could have been him just being like, 47? Really?
Well, because there clearly wasn't 47 bullets in that lunchbox. So,
I mean, there was more.
You think so?
Oh, yeah, there were plenty. He had shotgun shells. He had all kinds of shit.
I thought the shotgun shells were empty.
Yeah, no. He had
yeah. So then,
they were plenty.
Yeah, all right.
How long do you think it's going to take for Jade and Miranda to actually sit down and have a conversation, and for her to actually embrace that they are reincarnated versions of past people and they have been coming back for centuries trying to save these kids? Like, how long is she going to be in denial about that? He already tried to get her to speak up in this episode, and like you said. And here's what's crazy,
was like, dog. But she's not wrong, though.
After all she's seen already, she got pushed out of a fucking lighthouse in Fromville and ended up in the hospital in the real world.
Only to bring Victor's father back.
Correct. And to see that Miranda was there already because she saw all the drawings and the paintings. And
I'm sorry. I went to bed late and woke up at 5 for this fucking show.
It was like Christmas morning.
So she had a point. Like, something told Sarah to kill her brother. Something told Sarah to stab what's her name in the eye. Mm-hmm. Something told Elgin
to kidnap Fatima.
To kidnap the baby. Something told Fatima to eat the garbage. Like, it could absolutely be that same thing.
Yeah, I guess
just because they're reincarnated doesn't mean they can't be played with.
No, I get it. But I think that's, I think the whole reincarnation thing and them actually coming back after generation after generation after generation is more likely what the storyline is, right? Here's one thing I thought about too.
Elgin might be a reincarnation of their soldier.
What if we find out at the end?
He was manipulated.
Right? So what if we find out at the end of this? Because they keep talking about changing the story walking, right? What if we find out the ending of this is that Boyd's an author and it's a book that he's writing?
If they pull the Wizard of Oz ending, I'm going to be livid because...
What if we find that out?
What's Wizard of Oz is the dream. What's the one with Fred Savage?
Princess Bride?
Yeah. If they do the Princess Bride or the Wizard of Oz ending, I'm going to be pissed.
What if we find that out? Because they keep, it's interesting they keep referencing.
What's his name? The kid. Ethan's been talking about stories from the gate. Wouldn't you be livid?
I don't know. I think it would be one of those like, oh my God moments. Now, it comes to a conclusion. Like, the ending's great, right? Like, there's this great ending. We find out what's going on, but then all of a sudden it flashes to
the post-credit scene. Is
flashes the Boyd
on his typewriter.
Correct.
I don't know. I mean, maybe. I guess there has to be. This is a show that has to end
with answers.
With answers. They can't do the Sopranos ending.
No, absolutely not. I'll murder somebody.
They have to do the Breaking Bad ending where literally every single thing gets buttoned up.
Correct.
But yeah, if at the end of the final piece getting buttoned up, it winds up being a dream or a book or all make believe, maybe. Like you're saying, if the ending is phenomenal and all your questions get answered, then maybe we don't care that it was a book or a dream.
I agree. Could you imagine?
I just feel like, don't you think in a general sense that's a cop-out?
No. I just think, because I think they've been telling you the whole series. They've been slipping it in about a story can't be changed, and Ethan Reed's story.
No, not in this particular case. I'm saying across all of movie and film. Don't you think ending with it all have been a dream or it all because if it's a dream, then they don't have to tell you how this happened. Just like Walking Dead never tells you how the zombies were created in the first place. If it winds up being a dream, no one has to answer for how we got here in the first place and how this loop started. Right?
No, I think they would. I think they would answer for it. I think the whole story
but they don't have to.
But the whole story would come to a conclusion. That's what I mean. It would just be like you're reading any friggin' other book that turned into a film, right? It ends, but there was obviously somebody who wrote it.
But they don't have to. That's the cop-out part that I don't like when people do that. But yeah, even like when Entourage, the final episode of the finale, the series finale, did a flash forward 10 years. You know what I mean? And Vince is like already married and stuff. And like, I just, when you can't creatively handle the gap, and then you just do a flash forward like that shit's like taking the easy way out.
They just did it in Euphoria. Euphoria has a 5-year time jump.
I can't do Euphoria because I can't do it.
Euphoria's the shit. You're out of your mind.
I won't do it.
Why?
I have a 14-year-old daughter.
Oh, dude, Euphoria's out of freaking control. You got to remember, Sydney Sweeney's like 27, cuz.
It doesn't matter. John Travolta wasn't in high school when they filmed Grease either. It doesn't matter.
No, he was about 54.
It's a mental thing. I just can't. I don't want to know about any of that stuff, and I just want to plead ignorance. I can't do it.
I hear you.
All right, so we talked about the episode. We got through all of our predictions. I think that's it. So we're going to try and do these every Sunday until the series finale or the season finale, and then we'll get back into the swing of pop culture and nostalgia stuff after that, episode 50 maybe.